Good morning, fellow traders. Baldwin here. It's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Thursday, November the 19th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, let's check and see where we left off the market yesterday. So SPX was down a little bit yesterday. We're still over the upper Bollinger Band in a green month here. Remember, we took the inside month up, so last month's high is going to be a really key level for this market to try to hold, right? And on the weekly chart, a very important level to hold is this support level right here, but we're way above that right now with an inside week so far. So this last impulsive move up, right, got us to fresh all-time highs, right, shifting our trend line up and keeping us bullish till proven otherwise. So we are bullish till proven otherwise, and we looks like a fresh wave 1 right here. So a really bullish move is a wave 3 up. So we're kind of tracking that right here to see if this is an ABC move and possibly a 1-2 pullback for a larger wave 3 up. Doesn't seem likely with the current news conditions of New York City shutting down their public schools, an election not determined yet. And general economic worries around the globe. So we'll see if this actually turns into sort of an A, B, C type move to test the 302, the 618. The 618 is kind of very interesting, right? Because it tests those weekly resistance levels, the upward trend line, and the cloud. So this is kind of an interesting target area right here if the market does decide to get weak before we might see a larger wave 3 up. So we'll have to continue to track that. Let's take a look at the SPY and see how it's behaving here this morning. Again, volume crept in yesterday at the close after a big sell-off to the ADMA. And here this morning it looks like we're megaphoning here today. So let's see how that goes going into the open. A little bit of a spike here as the futures were a little bit deeper red, and you can see we've got a little bit of a bounce there. Let's take a look at the ES here and see how that's behaving here this morning. Again, you can see the macro geometric trend line is being tested right now. We have job numbers coming out this morning at 8:30, so that could affect things one way or the other. And again, we've got a few fresh signals forming their way on the way down here today, so we'll see how those hold. And if we can get above there, we may actually test the scene of the breakdown. So we'll see where that goes, how that goes here today. Let's take a look at the micros real quick. And again, here's our geometric lines going into this morning. We'll see they hold going into today. Again, this is one that could be a nice continuation right here. If we do get to the scene of the breakdown, that could get tested. So that's one to keep an eye on too. Let's take a look at the Qs and see that behaving here this morning. Again, channeling down here this morning, but a little bit of a bounce so far. So let's see how that holds up going into the rest of the opening session. Let's take a look at the IWM. Okay, so the IWM is kind of working, it's kind of drifting down a little bit of a pop right here, but nasty down move yesterday after it lost its upward trend line. And again, the small caps don't react too well to New York City shutting down their schools, right, and future economic uncertainty on the COVID deal. So we've got that going on. So let's take a look at the XLF, and again, same stuff. I've heard some news that some rumors that banks are kind of tightening up a little bit here, but either way, it was relatively strong at the open yesterday, but we got to keep an eye on the general direction here of the XLF. Once it started to kind of turn its way down here, right, that was an implication that, hey, this market is not as stable as it was, and that's why we saw that big flush in the market yesterday. So seems to be holding a couple key levels out here, resistance, support. So let's see if this line can hold here for the XLF going into today. So good stuff. Let's take a look at Apple this morning. So Apple down a little bit here, kind of gapping down a little bit, might be trying to grind its way up. It's been a challenging chart here on the daily. I mean, basically it's still kind of face planted yesterday, but it's still below the upward trend line, right? And so that kind of keeps us a little bit blah on it, right? So it's one of the things that we're tracking here, still in the trend box as well. Let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, let's see what it's up to here this morning. Opening up a little bit flat, but if we can get over yesterday's highs, we might see a push up to all-time highs and try to squeeze out some bears. We saw some increased put activity yesterday, as the bears might be getting excited. It's like, oh, Tesla's going down now. Well, we'll see. So keep an eye. If it pushes over these highs right here, we could see a break of 500 on Tesla today. So good stuff. All right, now we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at some of the charts for our members and Bubble Report subscribers. So let's take a look at those here. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get more in-depth video coverage on the stocks or setups that are on our radar, be sure to join our group or subscribe to the Bubble Report for more morning analysis. The Bubble Report includes S&P 500 review, also a market profile game plan on the S&P futures, sector updates, gappers, orbs, unusual option activity, economic calendar, and we also have Elliott wave counts that are on our radar made by Algo 382. Be sure to click the link at the end of this video to subscribe today.